Don't draw attention to it. Act like you've been here before. Hello, gamers. You are watching Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, December 7th. I am your host, Tamor Hussain, and joining me for the first time ever, exclusive for Kind of Funny. No one has pulled this off except for me. I am joined by Master Chief Petty Officer John 117. Welcome, Master Chief. How are you today?
Hello, Tamor. It's a pleasure to be here.
Master Chief, if you could do me a favor, I've always wanted to relate to you. The problem is you're a Spartan, you are a super soldier, you are like 9 foot tall, you're incredible in combat. Is there any chance that you can make yourself a little more relatable to me by doing like a British accent, but kind of not like a straight British accent, the kind of British accent that's melded with someone who has been in California for a really long time? Do you reckon you can pull one of those off?
Are you saying you don't want me to use my real voice this whole podcast?
Yeah, I would prefer it if you sounded a little more like me, so we can have like I'm used to doing this with Gary Witter, who's a really cool guy, British guy. He's lived in California for a while. I'd love it if you could help me reach a comfortable space by replicating his voice. I know you're a man of many talents, so you reckon you can pull that off?
Well, fortunately, part of my Spartan training did include a comprehensive vocabulary and linguistic database. So let me see if I can access those files.
Let's go.
Hold on. Accessing. Accessing.
Cortana a little slow these days.
Accessing.
It's not Cortana, is it? It's the weapon now, isn't it?
All right, how's this?
Oh, wow. John, that's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, it took a minute to properly load in all the subroutines, but this should be pretty authentic.
That is, I already feel a little more at home with you.
Yeah, this is apparently, according to the database, this is the accent of a man who grew up in London's East End and lived in England for about 25 years, but then has since done another 25 years in California. So you've got a bit of a mix.
That is remarkable because that is Gary Witter's exact life story. So the fact that the UNSC has a pre-built routine for that is pretty impressive, and I'm glad to see it's happened. When
the USNC was founded, they did a deal with Facebook, aka Meta, for full access to their database, which is why they basically know everything about everybody.
That's incredible. I've heard they also did a deal with Zuckerberg for Sweet Baby Ray's, which apparently will be making an appearance.
Mark Zuckerberg and Dr. Catherine Halsey, two of the great monsters of modern history.
Yeah. You got anything cool to show off there? I've heard that you've got like some more paraphernalia with.
Oh yeah, well, so Microsoft did send me some very nice things. This helmet included, but the thing I'm most pleased about, because this is what I really wanted, I didn't know I was going to get it because you can't find them anywhere, but they did send me the official. And this is really beautiful. The official Master Chief Elite controller.
That is cool.
Which is not just aesthetically very, very beautiful, but also has all of the gubbins that you would expect an Elite controller to have. So it has the nice little paddles on the back, so you've got like additional controls here that you can map to pretty much anything. My favorite thing about the controller, I actually discovered this recently, is that the thumbsticks come off. You can pull them off. And underneath a little screw here that you can tighten to adjust the tension of the thumbstick. So if you like your thumbstick to be a little bit tighter or a little bit looser, you can tighten it to exactly how you want. And then it comes in a very beautiful, let me see here. This is the case. Very, very nice UNSC case with all the little bits inside. Even the USB-C cable is like in the cool Master Chief livery. And then the replacement thumbsticks and the replacement D-pad and the little adjustment tools and things are all in the case. Really beautiful controller. I'm very, very pleased to add this one to the collection.
Impressive. I've got an Elite 2 and it is an incredible controller. I think it's one of the best. I think it might be the best controller ever created.
I think the Xbox One, the Xbox One was where they kind of finalized the design. And now the Series X controller with a couple of extra little modifications. It's my personal favorite controller. I don't like using anything else. I think the DualSense is very nice. Big step up from the DualShock 4, but still, one of the reasons why I prefer to play games on Xbox is I just love the controller the best, and the Elite controller is absolutely beautiful.
It is. I've been playing Halo with it, and it is fantastic. Let's kick it over to the actual show because today's stories include NFTs. I'm sorry, we have to talk about NFTs. As well as that, we'll have HBO's Last of Us casting Nick Offerman. We've got Halo Infinite an update. We'll be able to get some news about that from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Master Chief, who is, of course, joining us today. And a few more other stories because, of course, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/Kind of Funny Games, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about to justify your life decisions. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Don't even type the link in because we never get anything wrong, especially when Master Chief is here.
True. You should just retire that feature,
Just
especially
get
when you and
rid
me
of
are
it.
on. What's the point?
Exactly. If
They
you don't
should,
wanna...
they should replace it with a feature where people can just write in and congratulate us for how right we were about everything.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/Kind of Funny Games, roosterteeth.com, or listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kind of Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use Epic creator code Kind of Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite, which just had a new season kickoff, to support the channel. So if you're playing that new Fortnite goodness like we are going to be playing after this on stream, make sure you're using the Epic creator code Kind of Funny to support us. To be part of the show, head to patreon.com/Kind of Funny Games, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free, along with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping, I mean, goddamn, one time let it be a bad game of sweeping. A new episode of Gamecast went up, and it is the Halo Infinite campaign review featuring Tim, Mike, Andy, and the one and only Parris. You can catch all their thoughts on youtube.com/Kind of Funny Games and podcast services around the globe, like I literally just said minutes ago. That's not all for Halo. This is a big Halo week for us.
Well, I mean, that's why I came correct, Timo, as you can see.
It is true. Xcast is also up right now, and that includes the crew talking more about Halo Infinite's multiplayer and the fixes that the game needs, which is really interesting. On the PlayStation side of things, PS I Love You XOXO is up. There's another one recording, and that episode will be up for everyone on Wednesday, so write in with your questions and thoughts. The topic of the show is likely going to be around the rumored Project Spartacus. Thanks to our Patreon producers, Pranksy, Blackjack, and this has been said before, and I'll say it again, but I'll try and say it with the energy that Greg will want. Greg Miller returns to the content next month. Nick should quit now. Hopefully that was the right cadence. Today we're brought to you by DoorDash, Honey, and American Giant, but we'll tell you more about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and will forever be the Roper Report. It's time for some blooming news. We've got 5 stories today.
Baker's dozen.
Thank you very much for that, Kevin. The first story comes from the managing editor of the best video game website on the internet, GameSpot.com, me. I got an email about this and I wrote it directly into the document. Ubisoft is adding NFTs to its games. You know them, you love them. NFTs. Ubisoft has announced Quartz, a new platform that will deliver playable and energy-efficient, non-fungible tokens, aka NFTs, to its video games. The NFTs are called Digits and will make their debut in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. According to a video announcement, Digits are playable in-game, they're unique collectibles, and will allow you to complete your mission in style. Naturally, these NFTs/Digits are going to be released in limited editions, and they have an engraved serial number on them that is visible to everyone. They also remember the owner's names, and naturally, you can put them up for sale. Digits are a new way to experience cosmetic items, combining the fun of playing with AAA quality assets and the thrill of owning NFTs that represent unique collectible pieces of Ubisoft game worlds. Digits are collectible in-game vehicles, weapons, and pieces of equipment that offer players unprecedented ways to connect with and enjoy more value from the games they love, Ubisoft said in a press release. Our long-term efforts led us to understand how blockchain's decentralized approach could genuinely make players stakeholders of our games in a way that is also sustainable for our industry, placing back into their hands the value they generate through the time they spend. The items they buy or the content they create online, said Nicolas Poid, VP of Ubisoft's Strategic Innovation Lab. Apologies if I butchered your name there, Nicholas. Ubisoft Quartz is the building block in our ambitious vision for developing a true metaverse, and it can't come to life without overcoming blockchain's early form limitations for gaming, including scalability and energy consumption. So, one thing to note is they say this is the first energy efficient NFTs playable in AAA games. Ubisoft Quartz leverages Tezos, a blockchain running on a proof of stake consensus mechanism, which uses exceedingly less energy to operate than proof of work blockchains such as Bitcoin or Ethereum. Just another quote, just to highlight, double down on that. Energy efficiency is a key requirement to propel blockchain technology into a future where it can be widely used by millions of players. We chose Tezos because of its original proof of stake network and its leadership on clean NFTs, said Didier Jeanvois, a blockchain technical director at Ubisoft. One transaction on their network uses the same amount of energy as streaming 30 seconds of video, while the previous generation of blockchain networks consume the same energy required for 1 year of non-stop streaming. This low carbon footprint means that our developers and our players can prioritize innovation without compromising sustainability. Ubisoft Quartz will be available in beta starting December 9th. Gary, blockchains, NFTs, they're here in video games. How do you feel about it?
You want to know how I feel about it, Timur? Look at my face.
Look at stoic as.
It's a very cynical, skeptical face that I'm making right now. I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, why are you skeptical?
I mean, I'm not an expert, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe everyone else that I'm listening to is wrong, but it just seems the NFTs. It just seems like a bit of a scam to me. It just seems like a bit of a racket. So it's no, surprise that companies like Ubisoft and I know EA have expressed an interest. They're all rushing to get involved in this latest racket. It feels like, from the company's point of view, it feels like probably the next logical step in the microtransaction economy, right? It's the next evolution of that, and we all know that free-to-play games with monetization on the back end. Call of Duty Warzone's making a lot of money. Halo Infinite, of course, has just made its leap into that world, free-to-play, but then everything is microtransacted on the back end, and I suspect that will make a lot of money as well once some decent cosmetics and things like that show up in the store. But I don't know. Okay, so I have some questions. First of all, my overall feeling is I feel like any company that's getting involved in NFTs at this point has to overcome a tremendous amount of kind of prevailing skepticism about this, right? The prevailing mood towards NFTs is a lot of skepticism. Unless you're either a hardcore zealot, you're one of these crypto bros that like really believes in NFTs and is willing, to pay $1 million for a fucking JPEG that you get to say that you own, right? Which again, it's such a fucking scam. Historians are going to look back on this and go, what a joke.
Yeah.
But the question is, are there enough people to fall for this particular scam? Probably. In real terms,
how is this?
I wonder about like how interesting it really is. Like the idea of tradable items is not particularly new, right? We've seen that in lots of games before. You can trade items, in Team Fortress and Valve games and things like that. And the idea of unique items to me raises questions. Like it's already a big enough job for developers just to create, a large wardrobe or library of cosmetics that anybody can buy, right? If each one has to be unique, how different or how unique can they truly be? I guarantee you they're not going to make thousands and thousands of like genuinely unique looking items. What's going to make them unique is the serial number, right? That's why the serial number is there. Because that validates it as unique, but it's also an easy way to say it's unique. You're going to have two helmets that look exactly the same, but because they have different serial numbers, they're literally printing money. Like when you print money, all dollar bills look the same, but they have a different serial number. Each dollar bill is unique. Each pair of trousers that they sell in fucking Ghost Recon Breakpoint or whatever is going to technically be unique. But where are your bragging rights on this? When I'm in a firefight in a first-person shooter game, I'm not saying to the other guy, hey, let me stop and check out the fucking serial number on your helmet. Oh, that's cool. I can barely even see what kind of armor the guy's wearing because I'm running around trying to fucking stay alive. So
Gary,
where exactly is the core that you're going to brag about the fucking serial number on your helmet?
Yeah, Kevin,
I think what you're forgetting is that like this is associated with cryptocurrency. So there's like some sort of coin attached to it. The item itself in its code has the address, the cryptocurrency address embedded into it. And that is what makes it unique, not the image. Really, what NFTs are is an image that has this unique code that is embedded within it that can't be just copied and pasted.
Yeah. I think like for me,
Who gives a shit about that though?
yeah,
well, the people that
the people that
care about blockchain.
The thing here's where I'm coming from. And this is going to be cynical. I have made it very clear that I do not give a shit about blockchain. I do not give a shit about NFTs. I think it's a annoying poison that I just wish would go away. But the people that are going to care are the people that Ubisoft currently is not speaking to, and they need. Here's my cynical approach. Who gives a shit about Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Let's
That's
keep
another
it 100%.
thing. It's like they're taking a concept that nobody gives a shit about, and they're putting it in a game that nobody gives a shit about. They're like doubling down on apathy.
I think that is the smartest thing they've done. Like, who gives a shit about a Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Honestly, there's probably a bunch of players. I'm sure it's an okay game now. But within the broader scheme of things, broader landscape of gaming, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, no one cares about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You know what NFT bros and blockchain bros do care about? NFTs and blockchains. And they will go anywhere one of those things appear just in the hopes of finding some sort of success. The hope of success is enough. You could put NFTs anywhere and these weirdos would appear and they will flood that area. Ubisoft probably looking at this and going, nobody gives a shit about our game. How do we get people in this game as soon as possible, as quickly as possible? They add NFTs to them, and suddenly you've got an influx of weirdos that love NFTs in this game. And I don't know, it inflates their player numbers. Now they have people playing. There are like requirements. You need to have played a certain amount of the game or reach some sort of level that I don't care about. But to me, this looks like a way to bolster player numbers by adding a trend that people blindly jump into. You're going to have, in their best case scenario, you might have like a bunch of people that don't care about games, but are desperate for some sort of NFT kind of trend hopping success, coming to the game, playing it and being like, oh man, because the thing that I see is like evangelists being like, yo, this NFT is going to take us to the moon, and it's going to be like, oh, this blockchain thing or this coin is going to be the next big thing. And it's a thing that you clearly is doomed to failure. So like you might get people appearing on Twitter and various other places being like, oh no, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, that's where the next big thing is. That's well,
you know what I was going to say, Timur? I was going to say, my first thought was, well, if you wanted to make a big deal out of this, like tie it to Rainbow Six Siege, which is a game people actually play, or tie it to like something new like Rainbow Six Extraction, which is coming out. But here's the thing, I immediately thought there's a reason why they're not doing that, right? Because they know this is a risk. And they know that NFTs are unproven, and there's a lot of skepticism out there about it. The deck is stacked against them. It's a good chance this is not going to work. So they don't want to strap the NFT bomb to a property to them that is actually valuable. So they're thinking, well, look, Ghost Recon Breakpoint never really took off. It wasn't well received. Maybe since they've updated it, it's a bit better or whatever. But like, it's yesterday's news. Nobody gives a shit about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So let's test it there. Just like, if you're going to test a nuclear bomb, you don't do it in the middle of a fucking city. You go into the middle of nowhere, where if something goes wrong, you didn't fuck up anything of value. So they're thinking, well, let's try it on this property that we can't fuck up much more than we did already. And then if it works, they can try it on a more valuable property.
I don't think this can affect the value of anything. I think that what this means, when people launch NFTs, usually they're minting a coin or like, so this means that like, hey, we're gonna start selling coins. So like, you know what I mean? Like the more they offer, the more people want to buy it. So they're like, I don't see there being a downside. This isn't something that can ruin a game at all.
No, I think it can ruin a game in terms of perception more than anything else. Like,
it can definitely put a bit of stink on it.
Yeah, what Gary was saying earlier was the cynicisms around NFTs. Like, if they really cared about this, they would go hard and they'll be like, we're putting this in Rainbow Six, we're putting this in the next Ghost Recon, whatever that thing is.
If this is a mild success, they're going to put it everywhere.
Yeah, they will. They're almost certainly. But like the other part of it is like it's just adding another layer of predatory like microtransaction kind of stuff to a game that
and a lot of this they're just doing this to please their shareholders. Like shareholders read about NFTs in Forbes or the Wall Street Journal with them, and they're immediately at the next board meeting. They're like, shareholder meeting. Like, why? Well, I don't know what NFTs are, but it seems like something we should be involved in, right? We're going to make money there, right? Let's do that. And they have no fucking idea what it is, but they just need to show their sharedholders that they're doing something in that
brilliant,
world,
right?
even though nobody knows what the fuck it even is.
They can literally just be like, okay, we're going to sell this skin that is like a golden skin, and we're going to market it for $100 per skin because you get the NFT as well. And there it is. Now, everybody that's playing that has heard the word NFT before is going to be like, oh, well, I'm not just buying a skin. I'm investing.
I'm getting an NFT. You know? I'm investing. The thing about it is like, it's not all that different from the way certain skins have been sold in the past and other microtransactions and are now. Like, and it kind of makes the point that Gary was, reinforces the point that Gary made earlier, which was like, there is a cynicism around, and there is kind of dislike around the term NFTs because, like many people will point out during this discussion, this isn't that different from selling other skins in other games. But the fact that it is branded as an NFT and has ties into that gives people such a visceral response.
And I can kind of understand if you're in the kind of a circle, like if you're an NFT bro and you've got a bunch of other NFT bros, I can understand how, like, for bragging rights, owning a unique item in a game might have some currency. But the idea of it as an investment is a joke. Like if there's an NFT, for example, the Mona Lisa, like let's say you own the digital rights to the Mona Lisa, if not the actual painting, right? But you own the digital version of it. I can kind of understand how that might have some lasting value because that's a classic piece of art that's always going to have value. But an NFT that exists inside a game that's going to be, games are by their nature, fucking obsolescence is built into them, right? Yeah. In a couple of years, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is going to be fucking done, right? And your NFT is attached to that game, and it's not like you can trade it among other players within the game, but you can't like transfer it to another game that's now relevant. These particular kind of game associated NFTs, in terms of a long-term investment, they're all going to hit a wall sooner or later. So I don't understand that argument at all. Argument.
The thing is, I think that the NFT lives on beyond the skin itself. Yeah, like it still survives in your wallet. And also, just to be clear, I don't think you own the Mona Lisa or the Mona Lisa's digital. You own that digital copy of it with the embedded crypto.
Yeah, so that's how it works. Like, it is. You will, once the game dies, you will have some semblance of ownership over a thing that is tied to that, even if unless Ubisoft's platform itself goes under and the backing, I don't know, whatever the resource that is backing that goes under. So you will have it. It's just a matter of like, will that have any value to anyone at that point? Which, who knows? I think this is going to go 5 years from now. We'll be talking about NFTs the way we were talking about, like, remember when like 3D TVs and 3D glasses were a thing? I 100% agree with you. I feel like this is, guys. This is a thing that is designed to make a certain group of people incredibly rich, and everything that is happening now is basically those more people trying to get a seat at that table, and the trickle-down effect is people are investing in nonsense and won't care about this forever. And like, I say that as someone who knows people that have made a lot of money off of Bitcoin, like friends of mine. And I'm like, you got lucky. And they like, having done that now, they're like, yeah, this is wild. And I got incredibly lucky, and I would not recommend it to anyone.
I mean, when even the creators of certain cryptocurrencies are coming out and saying, yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam. Yeah, it is a just insane shit. And like, it is designed for people to not understand it and just jump in because everyone is doing it. It's like trying to play the stock market just because everyone's doing it, not knowing the intricacies of it.
The great P.T. Barnum, who absolutely would be selling NFTs if he were around today, said it best. There's a sucker born every minute.
Mm-hmm. And these days, they're online within moments.
And their credit card details are already ready to autofill.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that annoys me about NFTs is every knobhead with a pencil or a copy of Photoshop or whatever free thing draws some absolute top 10 garbage and is like, this is an NFT. I'm minting it. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? That's disgusting. It looks horrible. It's you're not an artist. Like,
just to play devil's advocate for a moment, or at least kind of trying to look at this. Here's my question. Mm-hmm. I've never seen so much widespread skepticism of something in recent times. Like I don't know a single person or follow anyone on Twitter, or I've not seen anyone out there like in my sphere who has said, "Oh no, I think NFTs are a good thing." But presumably, a company like Ubisoft has done some research before, deciding they're going to invest a lot of money into building this quartz system and whatnot. So there are people out there that are spending big money on NFTs. Are we in like in a bubble or something that we're not seeing this market?
No, I think I mean at the same time there is an element of these companies will also make these decisions knowing that there is a burnout rate or a burnout point on this stuff. But the judgment they make is if we do it now, we can make enough of out of it to make the investment worthwhile. So just because a company is investing in something like this doesn't necessarily mean it has a future. It just might mean there's some money to be made there right now, and economic conditions and kind of like the state of the world might make it so right now is a good opportunity to do it and a necessary moment. And as far as I can tell, it's a relatively low barrier to entry, provided you're on a scale of the company like Ubisoft. Like I can't do it, but I know artists, genuinely great artists that have done NFTs, and those are the ones that kind of give me pause, because I've seen some artists that I follow and do NFTs and I look at their stuff and I'm like, that's a great piece of art. Like that is cool. I like the look of that. I don't understand any of it. And I'm not interested in NFT and minting and all that kind of stuff. But if it's working for you, great. But like that was in the early days. Now it's like I said, every knobhead with a digital pen with a Wacom tablet is like, I've drawn a stick, man. This is my NFT, and then they rug pull you with some nonsense, and then you're like, all right, well, that's useless.
I don't think that the art again matters for this. Like,
yeah. For this, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm NFTs. Like the art part is just you could stick it on anything, like a
but I think the art part is important for mainstream success. Like people need something to care about, right? You can't just give them the ones and zeros and say like this is money, this is internet money, because that's not gonna make it travel. People are scared of that, still scared of the internet and doing purchases on the internet. So like having nothing is probably where people bounce off. But you know what? At the very least, the one positive thing I can say about this is at least they've made an effort to find a more energy efficient way, because previously when there were reports of Ubisoft getting into this, like there were also discussions about there's a great video done by Chris Pratt at People Make Games, which is like why Ubisoft needs to pay attention to the kind of the global impact of getting into NFTs. And that goes through the energy and climate change implications of NFTs. And it's a fascinating watch. And basically it lays out how destructive NFTs and Bitcoin mining and that kind of stuff attached to it is. It can be on the world, and it is like devastating to watch and see it like laid out in such detail and plain language. Now it seems like they've moved away into something that's a little more efficient, which is, I guess, one good thing that you can say for this effort. Well done to them for at least thinking about the kind of global impact on climate change and energy consumption that is tied to this. So.
Yeah, you know how they could have made an even more of an impact. It's just not fucking do it.
Yeah. Our next story comes from the number 2 video game website on the internet. That is, of course, GameSpot.com, written by Eddie Makuch. HBO's Last of Us TV show adds Nick Offerman as Bill. Nick Offerman has officially joined the cast of HBO's The Last of Us as Bill, according to Variety. He replaces Con O'Neill, who dropped out due to a scheduling conflict. Actor Murray Bartlett said in an interview with The Guardian that it was fun to work with Offerman. It's an epic show, but beautifully human and intimate. We filmed it in Calgary. A lot of my scenes are with Nick Offerman. Oh, my bad. Calgary. Thank you. You saved me there from a lot of Calgary residents getting on my ass.
I'm going to get ahead of the "you're wrong."
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Don't add that to "you're wrong." Do not send that to "you're wrong." We took care of it.
Yeah, we already fixed it.
Yeah, we fixed it. No patch necessary. That was a hot fix.
We hot fixed it.
Yeah, love it. Playing off him was awesome, Bartlett said. Bartlett also spoke about series co-creator Craig Mazin, saying that... Mason? Okay,
Mason.
Cool. Okay, do not send that to "you're wrong." We hot fixed that already.
We're doing all the hot fixes.
Yeah, saying scripts that Mason wrote blew my head off. Oh, that's unfortunate. Bartlett recently starred on HBO's popular drama The White Lotus as general manager of the resort with his own set of issues. As for Offerman, he is known for a variety of roles, including Ron Swanson on Parks and Recreation. Pedro Pascal plays Joel, and Bella Ramsey portrays Ellie in HBO's Last of Us TV show. We haven't seen a trailer yet, but first images were published in September. Mazins has said the Last of Us TV show will follow the story of the original game, though the writer also assured people that the show won't be a beat-for-beat retelling of the game. Nick Offerman, now making his way into the video game world. How do you feel about that?
I think anytime Nick Offerman is in anything, it's something we should all be happy about because he's great, right? And what's interesting, like he's better known, he's best known as a comic actor, right? Because he's done more comedic work. But I don't know if you've seen Devs or some of the other stuff that he's done. He's actually a very good dramatic actor.
Yeah.
So I can see him being good in this. It's been so long since I played the first Last of Us. Who is the Bill character? I don't remember Bill. Who is that?
Bill is the guy who, if I remember correctly, my memory is terrible right now. But like you go into, he helps you. He's a friend basically. He starts off being a friend, but like you help him out in the garage, and guy with a truck basically is how he's remembered. He's like just outside of town, kind of like scavenging stuff like that, and then you go to him, and it's like it's an awkward moment because he presents himself as like sympathetic and he wants to help you, but then the realities of the world force a betrayal. He's the one, I think he catches you in the trap that has you, it strings you up into the air when you go into his garage. But he's an interesting character. I think that's the right guy. My memory of the first Last of Us beats are kind of like all over the place.
I mean, I'm sure, like I said, he's really good. It's like, again, most people who know Nick Offerman know him better for his comedy stuff, which is also great. But like I said, he's done some really good dramatic roles. I think he'll be good.
Yeah, he's I think he doesn't betray you. There's just kind of like an not awkward moment, but like a real. It's just his story is one that sticks with you.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I think he's that character that ends up being like, the world has been. He's one of the characters used to illustrate how the world can make good people not turn good people, but like hurt good people and make them do things that are unfortunate. He helps you out, and I think that Offerman is a great character, an actor for that, because he does have that kind of like. That Bill has that friendly, welcoming kind of personality, but also quite the dramatic part of Offerman's acting ability will definitely give him that edge that he needs to be like the paranoid, like the world sucks and I've set up traps everywhere. I'm scared of everything. If you know what I mean. Do not send anything to You're Wrong about my recollection of Bill. I made it clear up front that I don't remember that.
Which upcoming video game TV show are you more excited about, The Last of Us or the Halo TV show?
I'm more confident in The Last of Us purely because it's HBO, Craig Mazin, who did Chernobyl. I haven't seen Chernobyl, but I've heard he's amazing, and that show is amazing.
It's really, really good.
I've been meaning to watch it. So I think, that that one, and also like the Halo one has been floating around in like a weird limbo for long enough that I'm like, is that going to be good? I'm sure it has a good chance. Like. But who knows?
There's a chance.
There's a chance. Like I feel like I've never seen anything non-Halo game related other than the books, but I didn't read every single one of them. That has been amazing and blew me away, if you know what I mean. Maybe there is room for it. What about you, Gary?
I think both. I mean, both of them. I think Last of Us has got a very, very good pedigree creatively. Good people working on it. Comes from it's very, very strong source material they're working from. I do think they have an interesting challenge in that everyone who's coming to it having played the game already knows the basics of the story and the kind of the quote. And I'm not saying it's not, but like the quote unquote kind of shocking things that happen at the end. Unless they drastically change those, aren't going to be that surprising to people, right? We know what he does at the end, right, and what the big deal is. So it'll be interesting to see how much it's an interesting kind of line to draw between, like, we want to stay faithful to the story, but we don't want it to seem too familiar and like, we saw this in the game, for people that know the game. But there's two different audiences, right? A lot of people will be watching who've never played the game. So they kind of have to kind of please two audiences. The Halo show, I can't say too much, but I've got good reason to believe it's going to be very good.
Oh, amazing. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I would love to have a good Halo show. I think like that's the next frontier for a lot of like these licensed or like tie-in opportunities like video games shows. And I hope to see more of them. Like I would love to see more franchises from the video game world adapted because I just feel like they make for better kind of adaptations into serialized TV shows than movies. I hope that the industry, the entertainment industry, can
it's just where the market is right now. It's almost impossible to get movies made. TV shows, it's much easier.
Yeah. Hopefully we see more of that. Before we get into our next story, just want to remind everyone that you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get the show ad-free. But if you haven't done that, we've got some ads for you. So here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by DoorDash. There's no denying it, it's officially the holiday season. And after all that Thanksgiving cooking you just did, plus the cooking you're about to do for whatever other holiday you celebrate, you're probably not going to want to add tonight's dinner to that to-do list. So let DoorDash take care of it. You can also get groceries and other essential items delivered with DoorDash. I love DoorDash. We use it constantly, and it is such an easy thing to use for me and Gia when we're just trying to hang out, watch something, keep it simple for the night. Next thing you know, food's being delivered. It's safe, it's secure, and we are no longer hungry. For a limited time, you guys can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code GAMES2021. That's 25% off, up to $10 value, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code GAMES2021. Don't forget, that's code GAMES2021 for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. Next up, shout out to Honey. It's gift giving season and you have no excuse to buy everyone you love the worst, cheapest gifts imaginable. Why? Because Honey is about to save you tons of money when you shop online. Honey is your personal online shopping assistant. It scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best ones it finds to your cart. It's so easy to use. Everyone should be doing it. I've been using it for years. I've saved literally thousands of dollars, both for me and for Kind of Funny, using Honey. You install it once, you never need to think about it again. It's just saving you money. If you don't already have Honey, you can be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free, installs in just a few seconds, and by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/games. That's joinhoney.com/games. And finally, shout out to American Giant. If there's one good thing that came out of the mess that 2020 and 2021 have been, it's that people have started to prioritize comfort over style. You know what I'm talking about. But with American Giant's obsession with quality details, you can be comfy, cozy, and stylish. I love American Giant. I recently got a bomber jacket. Nobody's surprised, but it's this really pretty blue. I've never seen one like it, and I am a big fan. It's super comfy, keeps me warm, just like I like. American Giant is about the journey, not just the destination. They're obsessed with the details from start to finish, so they use the best quality materials and support local manufacturers and workers, which is always great. Slate called their hoodie the greatest hoodie ever made, so find out why. Explore American Giant's collection of durable essentials at american-giant.com, and you can get 20% off when you use code KFGD at checkout. That's 20% off at american-giant.com, promo code KFGD. american-giant.com, promo code KFGD.
I am Commander Shepard, and this next story comes from my third best video game website on the Citadel. It is, of course, GameSpot.com, written once again by Eddie Makuch. Halo Infinite campaign missions are not replayable. Surprising. Halo Infinite's campaign launches this Wednesday, December 8th, and in a big change from tradition, the game won't let you replay missions. Players need to start a new save file to play missions again. A spokesperson for Microsoft confirmed this to Polygon. Part of the reason why is that Halo Infinite has a semi-open world structure. Once you've cleared an area or completed a story mission, you can go back to explore. It's just the story missions won't trigger, Polygon reported. A spokesperson told the site the post-game does give you the option to keep exploring the wider environment, but for missions like the first two, where you're not on the ring yet, you can't replay from the same save file. You'd be able to get remaining FOV targets and audio logs, but the main story missions would not repeat. Associate Creative Director Paul Crocker told The Verge that 343 is working on an update for some time after launch that will let players replay campaign missions. We want to have a replay that works well. And when you have a more open game, it gets a lot trickier, he said. So we made a decision to improve the quality of the single player campaign to ensure that as a foundation, that it's going to be as strong as possible so that we could then add other features back in. Halo Infinite's campaign also does not support co-op, another staple of the series, but this will be added sometime in 2022. Forge Mode 2 will arrive at a later date. How do you feel about that, Gary? No replay.
First of all, I just want to say I feel bad for all the audio podcast listeners who have to put up with this substandard audio, but without the delightful comedy visuals of us wearing these ridiculous helmets.
Gary,
we'll see how much of a difference it makes.
You gotta not bring things to up like that. You know
Why
what
is
I mean?
that?
Because like now the kids that are gonna complain are gonna be like, "Well, see, Gary said it."
But you know what, Kevin? If they do complain,
everyone's going to notice it, Kevin. So you might as well acknowledge it.
Yeah. Also, now that Gary has acknowledged it, they can go to the video on Kind of Funny Games on YouTube and check it out. So see what they're missing. You know what I'm saying?
So far as the replaying missions concerned, I was a bit bummed out about it until you said that they will be patching it in. I think the overall story that has emerged, I mean, it seems very clear at this point that the big picture of Halo Infinite, both on the multiplayer and the campaign side, is it's been a success, right? People love the multiplayer. I'm loving the multiplayer. There are some complaints around the edges, and they'll address those. And the campaign's been getting terrific reviews as well. So congratulations, 343, and well done. Obviously, I think I said this on a recent Xcast or a recent show. As much as Cyberpunk 2077 was, a great poster child for, not releasing your games when they're not finished, in a negative sense, Halo Infinite, I think, has become the great poster child for, that in a positive sense. Like, who knows what kind of shape it would have launched in if they'd have tried to launch it a year ago just to meet an arbitrary, date. By giving it an extra year, I think, that's obviously really, they turned what could have been a very negative launch story into what has now been a very positive one. But even with that extra year, Tamur, what we're seeing is, they clearly couldn't get everything that they wanted in on launch day. A few people have observed, rightly or wrongly, that, they would have liked a bit more multiplayer, a few more maps and a few more game modes at launch. They will obviously be patched in. The multiplayer is a living organism that's going to grow and grow. But after a few weeks with the multiplayer, people are already going, I wouldn't mind a couple more maps. They launched with what they had, and what they had is very, very good. It's a very, very stable. It's a great foundation, right? The gunplay, the combat, everything feels great. They've got a great foundation to grow from, but they do need to grow it. And on the multiplayer side, the biggest one for me, of course, was the no co-op campaign. We've got to wait for that. That's a big one. And now just little things like not being able to replay missions. These are all going to get patched in, but I think it really shows that even with the extra year, they had to leave some things off the table to get this out, to hit they needed to hit this date, right? The 20th anniversary, the holiday season. It couldn't slip any more than it already did. And they have done a great job. Again, but it's worth acknowledging that even with the extra year, they couldn't get everything into the 1.0 release that they wanted.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of that extra year gave them the time to give us what we have, which is a really, really good multiplayer experience and a single player that I think is surprising a lot of people. Like, there was a period where we were all quite worried about the single player, right? Like, we'd seen little to nothing of it. We saw that one gameplay video which had Craig the Brute in it, and that
was a
rough.
disaster, wasn't it? But look how much they turned it around.
Yeah, and I think this is speculating to a degree, but I think that kind of turnaround was only possible if they had made some sacrifices in the immediate future, which is, maybe we cut co-op until later, maybe we take out the kind of replayable mission part of it and focus those resources on the effort to get the single player campaign to where it needs to be. And if that is the case, I think that might have been, I think that was the right decision, because at the end of the day, like you said, Gary, over time, we'll get the things that we need, and hopefully they will come in a kind of polished and very usable and like enjoyable state, instead of having a bunch of things that were halfway done and kind of broken, which is what we got when they released the Master Chief Collection. Remember, like, that stuff was the whole thing was kind of dragged down by the fact that everything was there that they said was going to be to begin with, but it was all kind of busted in different ways. And this seems like very much we've learned from Master Chief Collection, where we tried to do it all at once, and instead we're taking it out. We're scaling back our effort to improve everything that we do put out and go from there. But yeah, I think it's the right decision.
I made this comment a few times before as well. It really says a lot just how much our standards have fallen by years and years of being conditioned by broken, buggy, unfinished game releases. Whether it be Cyberpunk or Battlefield this year, there's so many games, AAA releases launching in an unfinished state. That Halo's getting all of these plaudits just for releasing unbroken and basically, not entirely feature complete, but a lot less broken and a lot less buggy and a lot more looking more like the 1.0 kind of release that we I have every right to expect on launch day. Sure. Getting a lot of plaudits for that, and it really shouldn't be. That should be the bare minimum. But
that should be
we're so used to these games not even having that now Halo's getting all this extra credit. But yeah, I think it's a fairly typical situation with a lot of games. You've got like say 90 days before you've got to go gold. There's so you can't get everything in. Like you've got to start triaging things. Like what are the things that we can afford to drop at this point that will that are the least critical. We have this many resources, and there's only so much we can do. So we've got to figure out how best to get those. What's the most important things for us to get into the 1.0 release? I think again the co-op campaign was the biggest thing. Little things like not replaying. Being able to replay missions. Again, the game will grow, but there's nothing from what I've seen, certainly not on the multiplayer side, and from what I've read, not on the campaign side, nothing that is like egregiously like, oh man, come on, you shouldn't have shipped it like this.
Yeah.
There's so many games like look at the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition, look at Cyberpunk, look at Battlefield 2042. These games are a disgrace.
Yeah.
That they were launched. We see so many like downright disgraceful game releases that the fact that Halo is better than that. We're all like shocked. Oh my god! Like a AAA game shipped and it actually fucking works and is decent. Amazing.
Yeah, I think that was the right move there. And like we said, like we'll get the other stuff, and hopefully it'll be as high quality as the stuff that we've got so far. Next story comes from IGN's Kat Bailey, who says Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl's first DLC character is Garfield. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl is about to develop a love for lasagna and a hatred of Mondays. IGN can exclusively reveal that the first free DLC character will be Garfield, the mimetic orange cat, originally created by Jim Davies. Developer Ludiosity released a trailer this morning showing some of Garfield's moves, which includes a brief cameo by his teddy bear, Pookie. It also shows off some of his new moves as he bounds about and engages the rest of the All-Star Brawl cast, making the famously lazy orange cat seem far more energetic than usual. Garfield joins the cast that includes Ren and Stimpy, SpongeBob SquarePants, and other Nickelodeon mainstays. While Garfield began life as a comic strip, he's most famous for his appearance in various television shows and primetime specials in the 1980s. Nickelodeon parent company Viacom acquired the rights to Garfield in 2019. Garfield, he's in a Smash Brothers clone. Are you excited to play as Garfield, Gary?
First, I mean, a couple of things about Garfield. We all laugh at Garfield these days, and rightly so. Like, Garfield hasn't been cool since, I don't know, like the 80s. I'm old enough to remember when Garfield was still kind of a little bit cool. It hasn't been. It's turned into a meme now. It's turned into a joke. Whether it's Garfield without Garfield or any of the other things that we do to make Garfield actually funny by kind of looking at it from an ironic stance. And that's been a rich vein of comedy in recent years. But fair play to Jim Davis. That guy is fucking swimming in money. I guarantee you right now. At Garfield. No one's laughing more than Jim fucking Davis.
Is Garfield actively is there new comics coming out, or is it just done?
I'm not entirely sure. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying that Garfield, that guy is fucking swimming around in a Scrooge McDuck vault.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could laugh at my creation as much as you want.
Yeah, he's whatever.
If I get to be that rich.
Oh yeah, 100%. If he's done he's reached the ideal place where the popularity of Garfield is just driven. The engine of that is the internet taking the piss out of it. And as long as
Garfield already is I'm not saying it's at the bottom of its credibility, but when the Garfield kart racer came out, I think everyone just kind of went, yeah, fine. There wasn't anything more you could do. Oh, really? And it's not oh no, the beloved Garfield, I can't believe you've done this to him. You might as well put him in a fucking, Smash Brothers game. Why not? Why not? As long as the check clears, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think just in general, I'm actually really enjoying this little this little kind of trend we're seeing right now. These Smash Bros knockoffs, whether it be Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl or Multiverses. It's kind of fun and ridiculous to see I mean, I don't know. I kind of do want to see Shaggy fight Batman, right? Why fucking not? This is exactly the kind of like late stage capitalism shit that we should all be expecting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, fair play to Jim. Wait, is Jim Davis still alive? Like, is it just his estate now? I guess
think he is.
Oh, really? Not only is he swimming in Garfield money, he's living life large, and he's like relatively unknown. He can enjoy his money out of the spotlight. That's the
stay
ideal.
tuned for Garfield NFTs.
Oh yeah, let's go. The fifth story that we've got is a kind of short and sweet one. It's an update I thought it was worth just touching upon because it's an ongoing story, which is coming from Kotaku. Call of Duty Warzone dev stage walkout over layoffs. The latest update came today at 12:06 p.m. ET. So the walkout is now in its second day, and Activision Blizzard's workers involved in the Raven software walkout say QA from other studios have joined in from offices in Texas, Minnesota, and California, including at Blizzard's Irvine campus. These workers are standing in solidarity with the statement Raven QA put forward yesterday. The Activision Blizzard employee group, ABK, wrote on Twitter today. Developers from the Overwatch and Call of Duty studios and others online are currently using the hashtag WeAreRaven hashtag to voice their support for the protest. Kevin, there is a Twitter post there if you want to bring it up. No worries if not. Quality assurance testers and other developers at Raven Software, the Activision studio in charge of the extremely lucrative free-to-play Battle Royale Call of Duty Warzone, are walking out on the job to protest surprise layoffs that were foisted on staff beginning last Friday. The group told Kotaku in a statement it has only one demand: give all QA testers, including those just laid off, full-time positions. Those participating in the demonstration do so with the continued success of the studios at the forefront of their mind, the group wrote. The Raven QA department is essential to the day-to-day functioning of the studio as a whole. Terminating the contracts of high-performing testers in a time of consistent work and profit puts the health of the studio at risk. So I wanted to touch upon this because it's an active kind of effort happening right now, and it's, Activision, they just dropped the layoffs on developers at Raven Software, and the context being Warzone is doing incredibly well. Activision is earning a lot of money. Anything on that one, Gary?
I mean, they just keep stumbling from one fucking disaster to the next, don't they? I saw something earlier this morning in response to this that if you took Bobby Kotick's 2020 remuneration as the boss of Activision, I think it's something like $155 million. You could pay the salaries of everyone at Raven for 100 years. So it's not like they don't have the money.
Louise.
They just choose to keep it all at the top. And it's not, we can keep bashing Activision, and we should, because it's a terrible company run by terrible people. But this isn't just an Activision problem. It's a fucking American problem. It's a capitalist problem. It's a problem of the basic systems of economic inequity and economic injustice that have kept 90% of the money at the top and the rest of us fucking fighting over the scraps for years. And it's I don't know if it's ever going to change, short of fucking revolution. But it's Activision is currently the company that we're all pointing our fingers at right now, but they're just a symptom of a much more widespread problem.
Yeah, for sure. And it is like 100% support and solidarity with the people that are engaging in those walkouts. And if you want to keep up to date on that stuff, you can check out the hashtag, the WeAreRaven hashtag, to see what people are saying, and lend your support if you want to. This is something that's important to the industry, because don't forget that these are the people that make the games, not the people at the top that just earn ridiculous amounts of money and do none of the hard work that goes into producing these games. Gary, if I wanted to know what is coming to Mom and Pop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software on each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games daily show hosts each and every weekday. Sorry, I slipped out of my accent module there back into my core programming. Sorry.
That's fine. It happens now and then. You gotta it's like a screensaver. You gotta move the mouse every now and then just to make sure it doesn't, go into.
Cortana to jiggle the mouse for me.
Yeah, that you hate to see it. That's why she's rampant. She's losing her mind. Out today, we have Wolfstride for PC and Mac, 12 minutes for PS5, PS4, and Switch. Final Fantasy 14, Endwalker. Is it 14 or 15? It is 14. Expansion. That is an expansion for PS5, PS4, PC, and Mac. Rune Factory 4 Special for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Heavenly Bodies, I would like one of those for PS5, PS4, PC, and Mac. Everforward for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch. White Shadows for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel, Dawn of the Battle Royale for Switch. Beyond a Steel Sky for Switch. 9-Ball Pocket for Switch. Love 3 for Switch. Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator for PC, and Thunder Tier 1. New dates. I think Blessing snuck in and dropped this in here, I think. This is for new releases, and we have VR co-op action survival FPS. After the Fall launches December 9th. Expeditions Rome launches January 20th, 2022 on PC. And the Planet Zoo Europe DLC is arriving alongside the free 1.8 update on December 14th. Deals of the day, nothing super major. I do want to point out the Switch OLED dock is up on the Nintendo store for $70. It's not a deal of the day, but that Switch OLED dock is surprisingly nice, the white one. When I took out the OLED, I was like, oh, this dock is really cool. So you can have that if you want it for $70. It is a bit pricey. There is also a black version. The rounded edges are nice.
Why would you want to buy that dock separately? Because like if you don't have an OLED Switch, you just want a nicer dock?
I think that, and the Ethernet side, and
yeah, I mean, that's the nicest thing about it is you don't need the Ethernet dongle. You don't just plug right in.
Yeah, it's mainly for aesthetics. I like I said, I was surprised at how nice it looks.
It is nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so you can get that if you want it. USPS Plus games are up now, so you can get Godfall Challenger Edition, Mortal Shell, and Lego DC Super Villains now. Reader mail. This is the time for reader mail, and you can write into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get your questions read on the show, just like kebabs. What's up, Kind of Funny Games Daily Crew? Do you think the Legacy Edition, assuming of Uncharted here, is a worthy PS5 upgrade? The SSD load times and DualSense features sound great, but I'm disappointed there's no improved graphical features like ray trace, reflections, better texture models, assets, or longer draw distance. On the upside, sounds like those who only bought one will get both. What a steal. Thank you, keep being awesome. So a couple of things to note. The PS4 owners that have purchased Uncharted 4 Lost Legacy or the bundle can upgrade to PS5 remasters for $10. And the Legacy of Thieves collection itself is $50. And this includes a movie ticket for select countries for a limited time in participating Regal locations if you purchase it on PlayStation Store for the new Uncharted movie coming out next year. And PS Plus members who claimed Uncharted 4 on the subscription are not eligible for the $10 upgrade. So some caveats there for upgrading. Gary, are you excited? Are you going to be playing the remastered version of the Uncharted collection?
I do love the Uncharted games, especially the second one. I think the second one's one of the best games ever made. So good. But I mean, all four are great, and Lost Legacy is really good as well. Maybe at some point they'll do, in the same way they're working on Last of Us right now, they'll do like a full remaster. But don't forget, these fucking games looked amazing to begin with. So I think that I'm sure they could look even better if they fully remastered them for PS5. But they're incredible looking games, even on PlayStation 4. There are certain sequences in those games where my fucking jaw was on the floor. During some of those sequences. They're so technically and creatively fucking well done. Just like breathtaking chase, like chase sequences and the whole train, the opening from Uncharted 2 and just so many like blow your head off type moments in those games. And again, we've talked about it before. Don't forget like things like faster load times. That's probably one of the, it didn't seem like a sexy thing when they first talked about it, but like once you get a hang of it, you go, oh shit, this loads so fucking fast. It's one of the best things about the next generation. So I think it's, the $10 upgrade, I think if you've got the existing version is well worth it. And hopefully a good reason for a lot of people that haven't played the games to jump in now and play it in what for now at least will be, its best possible form.
Yeah, I'm in that same situation where I don't have like, I'm not excited to play those games again immediately, but I know I will do at some point. And I think for me, I'm happy to just sit on and wait to buy it until I feel like I'm ready to play it. But if you're the kind of person who has not played these games before and you have a PlayStation 5, it is a no-brainer. Like, it is some of the best games.
Some of the best games on the PlayStation, and really, on any platform in the last 10, 15 years.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like it's a worthy upgrade depending on what your history and your financial situation is. Let's move over to You're Wrong and see what we got here. Clark says, not a correction, more a question. Near the end of the podcast, you say, and if I want to check out what's coming to Momonal Drop Slops, where can I look? Myself and a few friends who listen to the show have never been able to work out what you're actually saying. It seems like a few minutes of nonsense. What even is this section about and what you actually trying to say? We are saying mum and grop shots. I'm sure that came through perfectly in my echoey room underneath this N7 helmet. But yeah, that's what we're saying. Well, I don't know where that phrase comes from.
The history of it is one time Greg was saying mom and pop shops,
yeah.
And misspoke and said grop. And then he laughed hysterically by himself for 3 minutes. And now
we all have to carry the can for it.
Yeah. So there it is. Nanobiologist says, congratulations, this is a perfect show. Insert Evangelion congratulations clip here, where clearly everything is okay and nothing is off. That's true. Cowhand and various others have pointed out some breaking news. The Halo TV trailer will be shown at the Game Awards. So maybe we'll see if Gary was right. Nano says, Tam, you're wrong about how Ubisoft is incorporating NFTs. I don't think I was wrong. I was just slightly incorrect. This is a test run with an already made game to see if they can, one, patch it in, two, if they work in games. If they work, they're going to add these to all their I think we actually said that, so take a hike, Nano.
That did super wrong.
Bill doesn't betray you. Ellie steals his porno mag, and you also find out the truth of, I'm not going to read that just in case. I think we also said that, so take a double hike, Nano. KEG says Bill is a good guy. Yep. We go NFT.
Now, every time someone comes into You're Wrong trying to get us, we always send them fucking home with their ass in a sling, don't we?
Yeah, always. No, there's no call given.
If you're gonna roll up on You're Wrong, you better come correct.
Yeah, you better come correct. Be ready to be thrown out like Jazzy Jeff out of the old Banks estate. David Attenborough. NFTs in crypto may be trash, but blockchain is just an advanced, highly effective encryption system that has a ton of value and is often wrongly conflated with Bitcoin. David Attenborough, here's what I'll say to that. I could not give less of a shit. Thank you for your time. Charles Jacobson says, you're not wrong, but on the topic of elite controllers, Scuff just revealed their DualSense Reflex series. Cool. Free promotion for Scuff there. Plammers says Cyberpunk can be the poster child for what happens when games aren't delayed because it was for over 7 months. Cool. Garfield is still active and running daily. That comes from Moose Springsteen, Plumbers, and Mikey O. Thank you, everyone, for wasting our time because we are never wrong. This week's hosts are Wednesday, Blessing and Andy. Thursday, Janet and Tim. Friday, Tim and Jared Petty. If you are watching live...
Jared Petty, that'll be a good one.
The boy, he's back, baby. Jared is back again.
Jared again sometimes. I always enjoyed doing the show with him.
Yeah, I've never met him. I've maybe spoken to him one or two times on the internet. He seems like a lovely person.
Very nice person.
He's all right.
Okay, cool. He's all right. I'll go with. I like the tempered expectations from Kevin there. He's all right. I respect it. After this, there's going to be a Fortnite stream, which began yesterday, but then quickly segued into a Metal Gear Solid 4 stream, which was fantastic. But now you get the second half of that. More Fortnite coming after this stream. If you want to catch that stream later, you can subscribe to youtube.com/kindafunnyplays. Remember, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday live right here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindafunnygames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, laugh and grow fat.